Today's show, we're going to kind of stick to what we normally do, and that is bring information where family matters to the people of the city of New Orleans. And I got a question for you. What if you could afford to finance your business, any business that you want, without worrying about money, without going to family or a banker? What would you do? All right. Is there anything that you would want to achieve if you knew that money would be no problem? Well, today in the studio with me, we have Vernice Dauphin. Vernice and I have been knowing each other for several years now, and Vernice and I have done business together in several different businesses, actually. And now she comes to me to tell me that she's got an opportunity for everybody and everybody that's in business. Welcome, Denise, to Where Family Matters.
Thank you. Thank you,
It's good to have you back. Now, you've been on the show before.
Yeah.
And so you're familiar with all of the goings-on here.
Oh, yeah.
But let our audience know a little bit about you so that you can refresh their memories.
Okay, well, you know, Vernice Dauphin. CorporateCreditResults.com is the consulting firm that I represent. I am the CEO and founder, and basically our conversation today is going to be about corporate credit, building corporate credit for the business owners, up-and-coming business owners, existing business owners, and what I'm realizing is that it's a topic that is untouched in a lot of markets, and so I'm here to represent the untouched markets and to expose for the first time the topic itself, corporate credit.
Well, why is corporate credit so important, and why isn't it used by most people?
It's expensive. The information is very, very expensive, and what I've come to realize, being a business owner for very many years, is people can't afford the information. And now that I'm publicly speaking out and, you know, seminars and workshops, etc., I realize the ignorance that's out there. Of course, not being dumb, but just not knowing. And I'm surprised. You know, I'm working with a lot of business owners that have been in business for many years, very successful businesses, filing their taxes, have good bank statements.
But having problems with cash flow, having problems with paying the bills on time.
Not only that, if their business folds, everything personally is attached, so everything they have folds. So they're in jeopardy of foreclosure, losing their personal vehicles, and things of that nature, which is not necessary.
Well, how can people get involved in having their own personal line of credit for their business, or line of credit for their business, and not for their personal?
Well, the first thing they have to do is detach. They have to separate the personal from business. You have to realize that when Uncle Sam realizes that you have a tax ID, you're known as a separate entity. It's like a whole nother being, a whole nother man. And that man has a social security number, which we call a tax ID for the IRS. That tax ID, you can build business credit lines to that tax ID. And it's very simple to do. It's not very expensive. Again, it's just about the knowledge. I just recently had a workbook that I designed, had copyright and published, and I sell them on the internet as well, where the average new business owner can take the few steps and set themselves up the right way the first time. So it's good for new up-and-coming business owners. It's even better for them because they have an opportunity to establish themselves right the first time. And existing business owners have an opportunity to redo their structure completely and put themselves in a winning position, so that if their business did fail, they're not personally liable, and so they're not going to lose everything they've built personally.
Well, how come a person who's already in business, what are the pitfalls to a person who's already in business, and they would fall in that trap? Why would they fall in that trap?
Well, I'll give you a personal example, and this is very important. I'm a multi-business owner, my husband and I, for many years. We have 4 businesses currently. We've always had multiple businesses. We've experienced, of course, you know, you always experience some failure. Everything is not going to be a success, and so that's the reality of business ownership. But the good news is, when the business we had failed, we were not personally liable for anything. So all we had to do was shut the business down, and any credit attached to it got shut down. I could not be sued personally because I never personally guaranteed anything for that business, because the business stood alone.
So that's the difference between a person who is in the business but gets trapped into their personal items being confiscated if they fail, and a person who does not attach their personal ID or Social Security number to their business.
That's a big difference. And that's why you have so many successful business owners. You see them shut their business down and no longer successful, but they're still riding nice cars and living in their homes, and we wonder, we question each other, you know, didn't Frank just shut his business down, and how's he still, you know, He shut his business down, exactly, and his business credit got shut down. But his personal life is still intact. Personal score is still 850. He's still doing great personally. It had nothing to do with his business.
Now, we're not advocating that you get any funding and go drive a nice car and shut a business down. But what we are saying here is you have the opportunity to enhance your business's cash flow if you knew the right steps to take.
Right. You can do what you want to do with the money. If you want to buy a boat, a car, or an airplane with it, you can. And so it's not a bad thing to do. If your business is prospering and is making good money and you want to bless yourself with a nice vehicle, you can do that, and the business pays for it. You know, that's what business credit is for. And the thing is, you know, it's a scary topic to some people because they just think it's not possible, it's not true. If you think about major corporations like Delta Airlines, IBM, Sony, when they buy aircrafts, when they buy equipment, employees, etc., they don't have the owner and the founder go sign for anything. The business, the corporation itself signs for everything. And so the business is liable for the business debt.
So this way, they're actually separate. There's two different entities. There's Frank, the person who's the individual who lives on Main Street, and there's Frank's business, who operates on First Street.
Right.
And so if something goes wrong with Frank's business on First Street, it doesn't affect his home on Main Street.
That is totally correct.
So what are some of the things folks have to do in order to do this?
For one, you have
to establish themselves in this way.
Right. No, it's okay. For one, you have to have a tax ID because, again, it's just like a Social Security number, but it's attached to the business. The next thing is having a business credit profile created is very, very important. For you and me, we have credit profiles. We have Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, and it's attached to our social. That's the society we live in. But where business credit is concerned, it's a different animal. It's Dun & Brad, corporate Experian, corporate Equifax. And so what Corporate Credit Results does is we come in and we consult with business owners and we teach them because, again, it's unbelievable that they don't already know this, but I realize the information is so expensive, a lot of businesses don't invest in the information, the time or the money. So we come in and we take the tax ID they already have, we take the bank accounts, the tax returns, we audit and edit everything that they have to make sure that it's operational, it's in right standing with the IRS, all the stuff is correct and true, and we just show them what they don't have and we put together a profile based on what they do have. So now we open a Dun & Brad account, we open a corporate Experian account, these are accounts that can be opened, and we have vendors added to their files. This is a legal process with Dun & Brad. When you buy a Dun & Brad credit file, you can actually add 5 vendors on legally. So it's not like it's anything, and you know, people don't know, so automatically they think that something's not right about it. And this is the process. It's just what's available.